All right, good evening, guys. So before we start today's session, any queries or any blockers on the previous day concepts, guys? Any impediments or blockers? Any impediments or blockers? What is an impediment?
అడ్డుకట్ట
Hmm.
అడ్డుకట్ట
Challenges.
Challenges are blockers, something which is blocking you, right? So yesterday we discussed about JMeter installation and JMeter setup, sorry, Java installation and JMeter setup, and everyone is done with that, right? Okay, so I'll take your silence as yes, right? So we'll go ahead with the next concept, okay? So let us have some introduction today. Or you want me to start scripting? One second. Let me check if anything is required to be covered before I start scripting on the JMeter side. All right. So let us start scripting. So let's start the scripting with JMeter. So for the first, the first application that I will proceed with is the goodhealth.co.in. This is the application that I am going to cover for scripting. This is a real-time application, but easy one, a very easy one. Okay. So can you go to this URL, everyone? Please go to this URL, the goodhealth.co.in. Meanwhile, I will launch JMeter. I will start JMeter on my machine. Yesterday, I had downloaded JMeter and on my machine, and I created one folder for your batch, right? So I'll start this JMeter. So I have multiple instances of JMeter. So like I'm starting your JMeter, like JMeter from your folder, so that everyone will be on the same page.
Sir, we should allow the cookies on that web page.
What is that?
Allow all cookies, allow
Yeah.
essential cookies.
Yes, you can allow all cookies or allow, you'll have another option, right? Allow
essential
only,
cookies.
essential cookies, right? Select that essential cookies. All right. So I had launched JMeter on my machine now, right? So and I am using metal theme. Observe here. So if you see the look and feel, it is metal, right? By default, it will use dark theme. This one, dark left, isn't it? So it's up to you whether which one to use. It is up to you. So if you, all right. So it is up to you, completely up to you, which one do you want to use. Okay. Hold on.
Pawan, a quick question here.
Hmm.
So in look and feel, there is option of window as well. So
yes, you can use any look and feel.
Is there any difference between metal and window, because they're completely same?
No, there is not much difference between metal and Windows.
Okay, thanks.
Right. So by default, I'm using dark theme. Now observe here, once you launch JMeter, you'll have a test plan element by default, isn't it? You'll have a test plan element by default. So, and you see a conical flash symbol over there, isn't it? So you see a conical flash symbol over there, but you may not be able to, able to see it clearly. But if you switch the, there is an option to zoom in. Observe here. In options, there is an option to zoom in. Right now it is somewhat better, I think, than before, right? And I'll change the look and feel also to do you want me to use Windows? Metal and Windows looks almost similar. Okay, or shall we continue with this one?
We can continue.
Right. So test plan is the default element in any JMeter script, right? So once you launch JMeter, you will have a test plan element by default, right? So test plan is the default element in JMeter. Okay. test plan. So test plan by default, you will have a, one second, let me go to the corresponding slide. It is the core element of any JMeter script, and all other JMeter elements comes under the test plan. Okay. And now what does a test plan does? It controls the execution flow, and it instructs how to run the thread group elements, right? Now, let me write down like what is a test plan, in simple terms. So test plan is, it is a combination of scripts, performance testing scripts. Okay, PT scripts. Yeah, PT scripts. Okay, and now there is another element called thread group, right? So thread group is nothing but each thread group represents one business flow. Okay, so thread group is nothing but a individual script. Okay, so each thread group represents one business flow. Clear, guys? Each thread group represents one business flow, right? By default, you will have a test plan element. So it is combination of PT scripts, right? If you take LoadRunner, so this is also called as scenario. If those who are familiar with LoadRunner terminology, in LoadRunner we call combination of scripts as a scenario. Okay, in LoadRunner and many other tools. Okay, scenario in LR and many other tools. In JMeter calls it as a test plan. Right now, I want to record a script. So what should I do is, you can record a script in multiple ways. You can generate a script in multiple ways. You can create a script, either by using default templates, right? So basically, like if you don't want to use templates, you need to add a thread group, right click and add a thread group, right? So thread group represents a script. We already just now, we discussed that. So thread group represents a script, right? So you can create a thread group. To that thread group, you need to add a, you need to add transaction controllers, etc., right? So different elements, etc. But you should know, different elements, which elements are required, what is the purpose of those elements, right? So for beginners, to make it simple for you, what will I do is we'll go ahead first with the default templates, right? By default, JMeter provides some templates, and I'll go to file and templates, or else you can click on this green color icon, which also represents templates. Click on the templates and select recording template, and now click on create, right? Again, click on create. You can update these fields later. Just click on create, right? What is it saying? There are test items that have not been saved. Do you want to save? Click no. Basically, it is asked. Okay. Yeah. So click, because I added one thread group, right? That is why it asking that. First, I added one thread group, isn't it? So that is why it is asking, do you want to save it? So I don't want to save it. I want to use default template. That's why I clicked no, right? Now you can see that, it added some elements, it added that recording template, isn't it? And now that default template, that recording template is having some elements here, right? In JMeter, each component is called as an element. In JMeter, each component is called as an element.
Sir,
1 second. Yes.
but when I am adding that template, I am getting bean shell sampler window.
No, you need to select recording template. There are different templates. Observe here. So you'll have, by default, you'll have.
No. After clicking itself, let me
Click on the drop down and select
no.
recording template.
It is not at all coming. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Cancel. Is it visible, sir? I think I have shared my screen.
Yes. Now we can see your screen.
File. You said go to templates. This is coming.
Right.
So I must.
No, click on the drop down. Click on the drop down above.
Okay.
Scroll down and select recording template.
Create. Okay.
Click create. Again, click create. Okay. Now I'm sharing my screen, right? And now what are we discussing? So JMeter, each element, JMeter contains multiple elements, each component in JMeter is called as an element. I'll write it down here in the class notes document. What is a element? Element means each JMeter component is called as an element, right? When did you hear this word element? Last time, when did you hear this element so frequently? Guys, you might have read that elements, chemistry elements, right? Am I audible, guys?
Yeah, Bhavan.
Huh. Did you hear that word element? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium,
yes.
boron, carbon, nitrogen. We have 100 plus elements, right? Anyone remember those elements?
Sir.
Huh?
Positive.
What is that?
It's just an attribute which forms such certain things. So it's a particles are it is an attribute.
What is that? It is an attribute.
Yeah, element in other word it is an attribute or in a group that is a small particle.
Subcomponents.
Subcomponent.
Okay. Yeah. So here in JMeter, each component is called as an element, right? So what does that mean? Like user different. There are some elements over here. Observe here. With a different different symbol. You see each element is having some different symbol, isn't it? So for thread group, you have a gear symbol, and then for test plan, you have a conical flask with some solution, isn't it? So in JMeter, it is represented by JMeter represent. JMeter in JMeter, it is represented by a conical flask symbol with some solution inside it. With some solution, right? And thread group, you see a gear symbol, isn't it? So you see a gear symbol. And then there are a couple of other elements with some, with some spanner and screwdriver, right? So these are config elements. We'll discuss those later. So basically, you have some, different elements, in the recording template. Now I want to record a script. So, you need to observe here, there is an element, there is one element that is grayed out, right? And the element name is HTTPS test script recorder, isn't it? So, but it is grayed out. And now if you want to record a script, you need to enable that element. Okay, you can use Control T for turning on or turning off. You can use Control T. And now what is T? T stands for toggle. Now what is toggle? Toggle means it is a on and off switch. On and off. It works like a on and off switch. That means if it is turned on, it will turn off. If you use Control T or toggle, if it is turned off, it will turn on, right? If you don't remember the shortcut, you can right click and use this option toggle, right? And you can see the shortcut here. Control T is the shortcut. Clear, guys? Toggle means, so what is the meaning of a toggle? It acts like a on and off switch. Clear? And now below that, like when you expand it, by default, you have a listener called view results tree. Okay. You have a listener called view results tree. When you are recording a script, right? So your request will be recorded in the thread group under the thread group, and your response will be recorded under this test script recorder, under this listener view results tree under test script recorder. Okay, I'll repeat one more time. When you are recording a script, all the requests will be recorded into thread group, right? Because thread group is nothing but a script, isn't it? All your requests will be recorded into a thread group, and your test, all the response, server response, whatever response you receive from the server will be recorded into this listener called view results tree under test script recorder. I'll take a pause here. Any queries? Once we start recording, you'll understand that anyways. Okay. You'll get more and more clarity once you start recording a script.
Just one thing here, like how you edit that
So the
templates
response
there.
is getting recorded in view results tree, right? Under HTTP script recorder, test script recorder.
Can you please repeat it?
So the response is getting recorded in HTTP test script recorder.
Yes.
Okay.
It will be recorded into a particular element called, view results tree, which is there by default. And now if you observe here, by default, you have a file called recording.xml, isn't it? You have a file called recording.xml, right? Now, I'll do one thing. I'll save the script first. First, I will save the script. See, what is the first script that we are going to record is, we are going to generate is, we are going to generate a script for user registration on this application, on this real-time application. Okay. Now, how to do user registration? Before recording any script, first manually navigate through the application and be clear on the flow. Okay. Be clear on the flow first. Okay. So once you are on the home page, you have an option to sign in. Click on sign in. And now, click on don't have an account. Everyone is new to this application, right? So, let us, click on don't have an account. And now you will get a registration page like this, where you need to enter your mail ID, name, password, etc. Can you please enter your email, name, password, etc. here? Can one of you please share your screen? I had used all my mail IDs. Can one of you please share your screen? Any one of you please share your screen, please. Thanks, Abdul.
Sir,
Vijay is sharing.
I
Yes,
have,
two people started. Vijay, yeah, please go ahead, Vijay.
okay, sign up.
Right.
Then,
Right. Now, now what happened is, once you register, once you entered your email ID, name, and other details, password, you are able to register and create an account, isn't it? And you are able to
sir,
log into that account as well.
sir, it has taken wrong phone number. Means this is their number. WhatsApp.
Now, this is Vijay's screen.
Okay. Maybe this is their contact number.
Yes, yes. Right. And now, user registration is successful and user is able to log in, and you are seeing, my account details, or you are seeing your account details, isn't it? And now,
Yes.
now click on that user icon on the top right of the screen, user icon. Yeah, that one. Yes. And now click on logout. Now we are already in my account page.
Okay, we have logged in with some.
Yes. And you logged out. So these are the transactions that we are going to, create a script for. Okay. So clear, guys, everyone? So I'm sharing my screen. So what are we going to do now? First, we go to this application, goodhealth.co.in, the goodhealth.co.in. So the first script that we are going to do is user registration script. Okay. What are the transactions below that, or what are the transactions, right, guys? Navigate to the this URL. Okay. Then what is the next step that we need to do?
Click on
Do not have account.
Click sign in. No, once you click on sign in, you will get that option, isn't it? Now, then, you navigate to registration page. Shall I write like that? Navigate to registration page. And then enter what details we need to enter. Enter email, name, password, and click register. Is it click register or something else? Right? So if user registration is successful, my account page will be displayed, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
My account page will be displayed. Now log out of the application. Once you confirm that user registration is successful, log out of the application. So before recording any script, right? First manually navigate through the application, understand the flow, what data we need to enter in each step, etc. Clear about it, guys, everyone? Now let us proceed with the, is it clear for everyone? Everyone, navigated through that application and create an account. Everyone is having 2-3 mail IDs, right? So some
Yes.
people are having 5 to 6 mail IDs also,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
it?
Yes,
So,
sir.
register, try with one of the mail IDs. And now when you are recording a script, obviously we have to use another mail ID, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So suppose you don't have, another mail ID. Suppose anyone having only single mail ID? I don't think so. Right? I don't think so. And not an issue, basically it is not sending any activation email, right? You observe that. It's not sending any activation email or it is not sending any OTP. That's why I said that this is an easy application, very easy application, no complexities. Clear, guys?
So we can use any dummy email ID also, sir.
You can give any dummy email ID. Yes, that is what I want to say. So you can give any dummy email ID. Okay. Because, it is not sending any activation email. Yes or no? But remember the mail ID that you give. All right. So, you can give any mail ID. Let's say, for example, at yopmail.com. I'll give it as, yopmail.com. Seems like I already used it. 1 second. Okay. I'll give it like this. Perftest1 at yopmail.com. What is this yopmail? Anyone knows that? Some of you may be knowing this already.
Temporary mail.
Right. It is a disposable mailbox or temporary mailbox, right? So even if it sends an activation email, you can, you can access your mail ID, right? So I'll show you that yopmail.com. So this is a disposable mail address, disposable email address or a temporary and anonymous inbox, right? Even if the application sends you a activation email, you can see you need not have a mail ID already. So tell me some mail, some name here, any random mail, tell me some random, ID here. Guys, tell me some random mail ID here. Okay, I'll do one thing. May 16th antanu. Okay, May 16th. Any random string you want to add?
May 16, 0525.
0525. Okay, at yopmail.com. Okay, and now I'll give my name and password. Right, and now copy this one. Okay, copy this one and now click on sign up.
Are you recording it also? Like,
Yes.
no, right?
Yeah, recording is in progress. Now you can see that user registration is successful, right? Now, in case if it sends an activation email, also, you can go to that yopmail.com and we copied that mail ID over there, right? You can go to your inbox here, enter that mail ID and you can go to your inbox. Clear, guys? See, oh, it has sent an mail actually, but it's not an activation email. It has just sent an email. That's it.
So here there is no need to create a mail ID.
No need to have an existing mail ID here when you go to this yopmail.com. So there are a couple of disposable email or inbox like this. Okay. The Yopmail is one and another one is mailinator.com. This is also a temporary mailbox. Okay. See, I will enter that same mail ID that I know, like ID that I gave here, and I'll give you mailinator.com at mailinator. Obviously, you have to give that domain, isn't it? Mailinator.com. Okay. I don't know that, like someone will ask me to use this May 16, 0525, isn't it? So, like now, if you click on enter the mail ID and click on go like this is you got into that temporary mailbox. Clear, guys? So remember this, remember these two domains, yopmail.com and mailnetter.com. Note it down. Okay. Please note down somewhere if you are taking running notes or, yes.
What do we mean by temporary email address? So we won't be able to access it tomorrow or after some time?
No, you'll be able to access tomorrow as well. But you need not register yourself and you need not create an account there.
Okay. But that account will be there always, right?
So
Yes, that account will be there. Yes,
How many
Yeah.
days it will
that
access
I'm
this?
not sure. How many days it will be available, that I'm not sure.
Okay, okay.
Okay, then but that is not a permanent one. Okay,
Yes.
that
Mm.
won't be a permanent one, right? But you need not create an account prior to this. You need not have an already existing email ID with this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now now I'll go back to the JMeter script recording. Okay. Now we understood the flow, what to do. Yes. Any queries?
No, I have joined 5 minutes late. How did you launch the test plan from the query and can you?
You need to go to file, you need to go to file and click on these templates.
Okay,
Okay. And you need to select recording template.
okay.
Select a recording template and click create. Okay.
Template, recording template, but it is not coming in my recording.
No.
Okay,
Okay. Let me
okay,
show you that. You'll have a drop down in the top right there. From there, you need to select recording template.
okay,
Say I took a fresh instance of JMeter,
okay.
right? I can run multiple instances of JMeter. Did you observe here? We can
Yes.
run multiple instances of JMeter. Okay.
Mm.
So click on these templates. You see a green color icon, right? You can either go to file and choose templates, or else you can click on this green color icon, templates, and then select recording templates and click create. Again, click
Okay,
create, and you'll get this template like this.
okay. Then how do we need to record? We need to click on the start button and then we need to perform an action,
No,
come
no,
back and stop it.
no. First, we need to enable the test script recorder element.
Okay,
Once you enable it, then you need to start recording from here. But before
okay,
that, you need to do some steps on the browser. I'll explain it.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Sir, wait. You said to save, but we haven't saved
I'll
because
I'll save it. I'll save it. Okay. Yeah. Let me save that script. What I'm going to do is I click on this floppy drive symbol, and then I'll save that script into our folder. Where is our folder? This April 2025 evening batch folder. I'll create one folder for this project. Let's assume that this is your project. Okay. So I'll name it as TGH. Good health ni I'll give a shortcut and I'll name it as TGH. Or else you can give good health. It's up to you. TGH. Now inside that I'll create another folder for the script and I'll give the folder name as user registration. And now I will save the script into this folder. Copy the path and now go to that path and now remove that full path and give the script name. I'm going to save it as user registration, right? I'm going to save the script as I'm going to give the file name as user registration and click on save, right? Now my script got saved into that folder. Now let me go to that folder and let me show you that. And now the script got saved with extension as .jmx, right? Right. So please remember that, like the file got saved with name as, with extension .jmx, right? And then the file size is 10 KB, just 10 KB, isn't it? Now let's see how to record the script, right? So
Pawan, just a
yes.
quick one. So, in the recording templates, so
Mhm.
we have different templates. We have like a building web test plan as well.
Mhm.
Okay, we have recording. So, and another is simple HTTP request. So these seems to be same, right? Because they sounds like for recording a web application. So is there any
Yeah, we will
difference?
discuss that. We'll discuss this
Okay.
later.
Okay.
Okay. And now, so what I said, the next thing is how many transactions do we have in this script, guys? Just now we discussed, like how many transactions do we have? First, we need to go to home page, right? And then click sign in, navigate to registration page, enter email name, password, and submit register. And if user registration is successful, my account page will be displayed and now log out, right? We have some transactions under that, isn't it? So what will I do is under that script, I will right click and add a logic controller called transaction controller. And I'll remove the recording controller. I don't use that. I don't prefer to use recording controller. So under thread group, I am adding transaction controller. Okay. And how many transactions do we have? See, this is one transaction. Navigating home page is one. Click sign in is one. Navigate to registration page is one. 3 transactions. And then you enter the details and click on submit or register. 4 transactions. and then log out. We have 5 transactions here, right? If user registration is successful, my account page will be displayed. That is not a transaction, but that is the result of the transaction. That is the result of this transaction, isn't it? So you have 5 transactions here, isn't it? So I'll add 5 transaction controllers. And now what will I do is I'll give the name to I'll change the transaction name. And you remember we discussed what is a transaction in the last session. We had discussed what is a transaction. What is a transaction, guys?
It's a user action which sends some request to server.
Right. Any user action which involves sending some request to the server, that is called as a transaction, isn't it? Now, the transaction that, I'll give the transaction name. I'll give it as user registration T01. Now, home page. I'll give the transaction name as user registration T01 home page. Okay. Now, what is this? This is a naming convention that we follow across the industry. Okay. So there is some naming convention that we need to follow. So what is that? So you need to give the script name, okay, underscore transaction number, underscore transaction name. So this is followed across the industry. Okay. So we have some people in US and some people in Canada, right? Some in India and others are in India, isn't it? So you need to follow wherever you are, doesn't matter, if you are into performance testing, if you are into, and one more thing, even, it is irrespective of the tools also, whether you are using LoadRunner or JMeter, this is a naming convention that we follow across the industry. First, we need to give the script name followed by transaction number followed by transaction name. And that is what I gave here. See, this is user registration script. So first I gave script name and then T01 for transaction 01. Okay. Why did I give T01 means the number of transactions may cross 10. That is why I'm giving 01. I'm not just giving T1. Clear? Please follow the instructions which I am giving it over here. Okay. And then this is the transaction name. Clear, everyone? And now save it once. Now observe here, this transaction controller name is updated once you save it, or or once you click somewhere, then it will get updated. Now what will I do is, see, I need to add some more transactions. I'll copy that element. I'll copy that element and write, click on the thread group and I'll paste it like this. And I will modify it. Okay. So that, I need not type the whole thing again. Understood, guys? I'll just rename it. What is the second one? What is the second transaction? Once you go to home page,
Click on sign in.
click sign in, right? For click, you can give CLK or CLACK. It's up to you. Okay. Now this third transaction is, the third transaction would be, once you click on sign in, then what will you do?
Navigate to
The name.
registration page.
Registration page.
Go to registration page, isn't it? Go to registration page. Navigate ante, it will be, your transaction name will be lengthy, right? So I am giving go to registration page. Okay. So please remember that your transaction name should be as small as possible and as meaningful as possible. Okay. Don't give too much lengthy names for transactions. And also, give meaningful names, because, in the report, these transactions will be visible in the report and client will be seeing these transaction names. Okay. So anyone who is seeing the transaction name should understand, what is it corresponds to, what does it, what exactly is the transaction. Okay. So make sure that you are following these naming conventions. Give some transaction name, which is, your transaction name should be as small as possible and as meaningful as possible. Clear? Now, once you go to registration page, then
And
you
the
Email and
email
password.
details.
submit registration form. Select you like this, submit registration form. Right? Enter details and click submit. You can give like that also. Enter details, click submit. You can give like that also, but I would prefer to give submit registration form. Right? And then last transaction is logout.
Logout.
Logout. And observe here, see, observe here, I am giving each word, I am starting each word with a capital letter, and I'm capitalizing each word, isn't it? Go to registration page. Don't give any spaces here, please. Please don't give any spaces. Instead of that, separate words with capitalized letters, right? Initial caps, right? This is called as camel case. So we know uppercase and lowercase, but this is called as camel case. What is camel case? We know uppercase and lowercase, isn't it? But what is camel case? What is camel case? It is a coding style where multiple words are combined into a single word with the first letter of each word capitalized, isn't it? So that is called as camel case, right? You can see some example here. Clear, guys? You can see some example here. So you can see this picture here, right? See, Docker container, Kubernetes cluster. You have some, they followed camel case here, isn't it? YouTube, Tech Target, eBay, etc., right? Clear, everyone? Any queries? But don't use spaces, please. That is not it's not correct to use spaces in between to separate each word. And now save the script once. Whenever you make some major changes, save the script once. Okay. Every time you save the script after making some changes, every time you save the script, observe here that if you go to your JMeter folder, observe here, there is a folder called backups folder, which got created today only. Did you observe that? See the date modified? At 8:16, this folder got created, right? If you go to that, backups folder, you see here, JMeter creates some backup files so that in case, if your JMeter crashes for some reason, your last saved changes will be saved in the backup folder or in this backup files. Understood or no? In case your JMeter crashes for some reason, you can recover it from that backups folder. Wonderful, right?
Is
See,
this a temporary files? We can delete it later.
You need not delete it. Let it be as it is. They don't take much space. Hardly it will be in KBs only. Okay. So observe here, first backup file got created at 8:8, and then second backup file got created at 8:13, isn't it? So whenever you make some important changes, right? So save the script. Save the script. Right? Now you added all the transactions. Now what next? So we added all the transactions. We know what are the transactions that we need to record. Now go to test script recorder. And now, choose the transaction name from the drop down. Observe here, there is something called target controller. And you have a drop down here, isn't it? Click on the drop down and select the first transaction. Okay. Select the first transaction as home page and then select do not group samplers. I'll explain later what are these options, different options. For now, remember that we need to select do not group samplers and select naming scheme as prefix. Right? We'll discuss what are these options, what is grouping and, like what is naming scheme and all. We'll discuss it later. So for now, remember that we need to select do not group samplers and select naming scheme as prefix and save it once. Save the script once. Okay. And now observe here, there is something called, by default, JMeter uses port number 8888. By default, JMeter uses port number 8888. What is the 8888 means?
It's
Every
a secure communication port number.
Right. It is a secured communication port number on which, see, every application will be using some port number on your machine, on your computer, right? Is it a software port or a hardware port? It is a software port. Okay. And there will be around 65,000 plus port numbers. Okay. So by default, this is the default port number of JMeter. 8888 they use some fancy number, right? 8888. Now, what is the purpose of this, right? If you want to make the script, see, for example, what are the steps in the script recording? So once you start recording here, right, you need to open a browser and you will navigate through the application. Yesterday we discussed that all these performance testing tools are record and playback tools. You can record the script. We are not going to write any script from scratch, right? So we can record the script. How do we record the script? Once you start recording here, you will open a browser and you will start recording. You will manually navigate through the application one more time, right? To create the script. Now, how does JMeter know that? How does JMeter know that, you want to record, or how does JMeter know that which browser you are going to use, right? JMeter doesn't know that, right? You have to tell JMeter, and, you do that with the help of, um, doing something called proxy server setting. Okay. We need to do something called proxy server setting. Suppose I want to use Firefox browser. Okay. If you don't have Firefox, please download and install Firefox, everyone. Suppose I want to use Firefox browser. Okay. You need to go to launch your Firefox browser, go to settings and type proxy or XY. You can type proxy or you can type XY also. You'll go to network settings, click on that network settings. By default, no proxy will be there. You need to select manual proxy configuration. You need to select the radio button manual proxy configuration. Give localhost here and enter the JMeter port number here. And you also need to select this checkbox. Also use this proxy for HTTPS and click OK. Now this is what we call proxy setting, right? What do we need to do? Go to network settings, select manual proxy configuration, type localhost over here. Localhost means, what is the meaning of localhost?
Current, the laptop
Machine.
that you are
Right.
running on.
Localhost is nothing but your computer. Your computer. This is the default name of any computer, right? Did we discuss that in the fundamental sessions? Localhost and did we discuss this or no?
Yes, we had discussed. So
If not, I'll write it down here, right? So let me search for localhost. See, I had mentioned it here. Observe here, default name of our computer. And this is the default IP address of our computer. 127.0.0.1 is the default IP address of any computer, isn't it? Localhost is the default name of any computer. Clear, guys? Now, so I gave here localhost because like I'm recording that on my JMeter is running on my local machine at port number 8888. That's what it means. Okay,
Is it
and click OK.
Firefox is really required, or can you go with any other browser?
You can go with any other browser, but see, if you are using, see why I am going with Firefox is I am using Chrome browser for my browsing, right? My Gmail, for opening my Gmail, Google Docs, slides, and all this. So that is why I want to keep a separate browser for recording, script recording. I had dedicated Firefox browser for script recording. Okay. If you are not, if you don't want to open if you don't want to open any of your Gmail or not, anything, yes, you can use Chrome browser as well. Okay. So now what is the purpose of this? Why should we do this proxy setting? Let us understand, we need to understand that many people know that, for recording a script, we need to do proxy setting, but don't know why do we need to do? What is the purpose of that? Right? So let us understand that. Okay.
sir, where is this connection settings? Here is Firefox.
You click on the three dots on the
Ah,
right side,
right.
that you have a menu, right?
Right.
That is called as hamburger menu.
Hamburger. Yes.
Hamburger menu, right? You click on that hamburger menu and go to settings.
Okay.
Once you go to settings, type XY and go, and you'll get network settings.
Yes.
Click on settings and you will see that.
Okay.
Okay. This menu, this is called as hamburger menu. Okay. It looks like a burger, right? That's why. I think that's why they named it as hamburger menu. Okay. All right. Now let us understand what is this proxy server. What is this concept, proxy server concept? Okay. So a proxy server is a component which inserts between you means here browser here and the remote server. Right? As any communication between remote server and you goes through the proxy, right? When JMeter acts like a proxy, it can record all your browser interactions. So what is the purpose of doing this proxy setting is, right? So let me explain that with the help of a diagram. You need to understand why do we need to do this proxy setting. In interviews, they may ask you, why should I do proxy setting in JMeter? In LoadRunner, we don't do any proxy setting, isn't it? Those who are familiar with LoadRunner, you don't do any proxy setting in LoadRunner to record a script, isn't it? But in JMeter we have to do. Why should we do that? What actually, are we doing that here? What actually we are doing that here by doing the proxy setting is, let us understand that. I'll draw a diagram here. Okay. Let's say this is your browser. Let's say this is your browser. This is your server. Okay. This is your application, right? Or else, your good health web server, right? I'll denote that. I'll write it over here. This is your browser, and this would be your, let's assume that this is your server, right? So now, you are, when you start accessing any application, so basically you will, send some request from the browser, and your request goes to the server. If the request is a valid request, your server will process the request and sends a response, isn't it? So this is this is nothing but your request, right? And this is the response that you received from the server. Right. Now I want to, by doing this proxy setting, what actually I am doing here is I am setting JMeter as a mediator between this browser and server. I'm setting I said, yeah. Let me go to the right side. Okay. So assume that this is your JMeter machine. Okay. So by doing this proxy setting, you are making JMeter, you are setting JMeter as a proxy server or a mediator between your browser and server, so that whenever you are sending any request to the server and when you receive the response, right, it goes via JMeter. It goes through JMeter, and then JMeter will be able to capture the traffic. What is meant by traffic here? Traffic means your request and response, nothing but your request and response. Clear, everyone? So this is proxy server concept. Understood or no?
Yes, Pawan.
This is proxy server concept in JMeter, and that is how your JMeter will be able to record the script.
So
Okay.
Pawan, I have a small. It means so the first request will go to the request will go to the server
Yes.
through JMeter. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We are setting JMeter as a mediator between browser and server, so that
Hmm.
any communication that happens between browser and server should go through JMeter.
Okay.
And now, as you started recording in
So
JMeter, your JMeter will capture the traffic.
Mhm.
I
Or it
have one
will-
question here. So
Yes.
the browser will send a request to JMeter and JMeter will forward to server. Is that?
Yeah, you can say that as well. Yes.
Because we need to add a endpoint of JMeter right here. If it is not, if it is passing through the JMeter to server, are we adding a JMeter's endpoint to browser?
Yes, that is what we did with the help of that port number. See, what did we do just now? So we use the same port number of JMeter in the browser. Right.
Okay, okay.
So in that way, we are setting JMeter as we are setting JMeter as a mediator between browser and server. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is proxy server concept, guys. Okay. Any queries? Now, can we change this port number? Yes, we can change that.
Pawan, I have
Yes.
a question here. So JMeter, like it is a mediator, right? So will it impact the response time, because the request is going to JMeter and then JMeter to server? So will it impact
No,
the?
it doesn't impact. See, this is only when we are recording the script. When we are replaying the script, right? JMeter will create the request and receive response.
Okay.
This is only for generating the script. That's it. For creating a JMeter script. Okay.
Correct.
But when we are replaying the script, right? Your JMeter will send a request to server and it will receive the response.
Correct.
It doesn't, impact your response time in any way.
Correct. Got it.
Okay. Now, once we do that proxy setting on the browser, right? So, now there is one more thing that you need to do. You need to check, whether the application is HTTP or HTTPS application. Okay, the application that you are going to record, right? You need to check if it is HTTP or HTTPS. I think I had pasted the URL here, right? Let us check the URL. So it is a HTTPS application. It is a HTTPS application, right? Now, when you are, any HTTPS application will not allow you if you are setting some another component in between browser and server. Any HTTPS application will not allow that. You got it? Any HTTPS application running on any server, it will not allow any component in between browser and itself. So clear, first of all, it won't allow you to do that. Okay. Understood or no? Let us try to record the script, then you will get a clear picture. Okay.
Pawan, one quick one. So, in the industries, is it allowed to update the proxy settings in any of the browsers or in banking application projects?
Yeah, good question. So if it is a banking application, you need to, most of the banking applications will be accessible over some other, proxy server, right? It will have its own proxy server that you need to set in the browser, isn't it?
Okay, so that proxy settings
that process is completely different. I'll explain it later. Okay. So
okay.
I worked on one of the banking product, for when I was working for Bank of America. So I worked on one banking application. As you know, the way you launch JMeter will be completely different there. Okay, we'll discuss that later.
Sir,
Okay.
here in settings we had added for HTTP, I think. Firefox.
Added for HTTP. No, I had selected this checkbox, and
it is for both.
allow also use this proxy for HTTPS. That is the purpose of this.
Okay.
You need to compulsory select this checkbox, otherwise you will not be able to record the script. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just give me a moment, guys. 1 second. Right. Now let me try to record a script. After doing the process setting, let me try to record a script. We need to do one more
Sir,
setting.
going forward, one small question. In proxy settings, below we have 3 checkbox, no? Proxy DNS when using SOC Wi-Fi, it's automatically checked one. I need to uncheck or can I proceed with that one?
Yeah, let me check that. What are you talking about?
Last.
This one?
No, last of the page. Before, after that one, there are more 2 checkboxes. Scroll up, sir, once. Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
see, this is the only thing that you need to do. Okay. So here, you need to give localhost and followed by this port number, and you need to select this checkbox. That's it. If there are any other options required, I will let you know.
Yeah, okay, sir.
All right. Now let me start recording. Okay, let me try to record the script now, right? So let me try to record the script by clicking on start button, right? And once you start recording, right, observe here, you will get a window like this. I'll take a screenshot of this. I want to explain what is that root CS certificate. Okay. So that window will go off after a couple of seconds. So that's why I took a screenshot, and let us discuss what is that. Hey. I did not capture the screenshot. 1 second, let me do it again. Let me start recording and capture. 1 second, it should capture the screenshot. 1 second, let me go to the default. Now observe here, every time you start recording in JMeter, right? So, you'll get this window. Root CS certificate is created in JMeter bin directory, right? A certificate gets created in JMeter, that certificate name is JMeter's root CS certificate. Okay. Or Apache JMeter temporary root CA. Do you read that over there? Let me highlight it. Do you see that here? Apache JMeter.
Just in the bold letters.
Yeah, it is in bold. You see that over there? It is in bold, and let me highlight it. Apache JMeter temporary root CA created in the JMeter bin directory, right? And it will have a default validity of 7 days. It will have a default validity of 7 days. Now, what is this certificate means? Just now I had mentioned, right? So, like I'll go to the code document. Just now I had mentioned, I made a statement couple of minutes before that. Any HTTPS application, if your application is a HTTPS application, if you insert any component in between browser and HTTPS application, it won't allow that. It won't allow that, mediators or proxy server in between, isn't it? Now you need to make your server trust this JMeter. That is why, we need to, that is why every time you start recording with JMeter, it will create a certificate, right? It will create a certificate file in your JMeter bin folder. Let me go to JMeter bin folder. Every time, you start recording, right? It will create a certificate. Do you see that here? Just now it got created at 8:35. Apache JMeter temporary root CA.crt, and it is a security certificate. You need to add this certificate to your browser. We need to add this certificate to the browser. Okay. Initially, I'll try to record it without importing the certificate, and let us see what happens first. Okay. Shall we see that? Or you want me to directly import the certificate?
Just a question here, actually, Pawan, are these like a self-signed certificate or it's SSL one?
SSL one, right?
No, I think it's a self-signed one, right?
Layer is then a secured.
Self-signed and not.
Software secure layer. TCL, SSL.
I mean, like if it is a open source or anything, or where it does not needs to be certified by a CA authority, like an encrypted one, that is a self-signed one. In case of SSL one, where it needs to be signed by a CA authority, it's a SSL one. So that one, this is a self-signed one, right? Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Let me go to that. That screenshot. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So if you observe here, see, you can install the following instructions in the component reference. See, installing the JMeter CA certificate. CA stands for certificate authority. Then, maybe it may be called as self-signed. Okay. So CA stands for certificate authority. That means, is it certified by some CA authority?
No. Because in the username it's showing ours, right, Pawan Kishore. So I think it's a self-signed one. But just opposite of that, if it is a SSL one, then do we need to import it like this only, or we need to manually insert that SSL one, something?
Now we need to import that certificate, whatever it got created in JMeter bin folder, so that that certificate should be imported to the browser.
No, that is okay. That is a self-signed one without HTTPS. In case if it is a HTTPS, then it's a secured one. So how to import that one? Here, that certificate.
Can you please come again? Can you please repeat the question?
This is a self-signed certificate, so we can directly it get saved in that bin folder, and we will import it in the browser. Now, in case this is a SSL one, encrypted one, so how do we import that certificate? Same way, we have to import it as
importing the certificate process remains same, whether it is a self-signed or something else. See, some applications we need to get the client certificate. Right, whatever applications are having two-way communication, handshake, right? So there will be a client certificate. That certificate also, we will import the certificate by following the same process into the browser. Okay. So first I will try to record a script, without importing the certificate, and see what happens. Let's see what happens, because this certificate is mandatory for HTTPS applications. If you don't import it to the browser, if you don't add it to the browser, right, you will not be able to record the script. Okay. I'll start recording. I did not import the certificate now into the browser, right? I started recording. Now I'll open Firefox browser and always use a private browser for recording, right? Please always use a private browser for recording. And now enter the URL over here. And I have the URL somewhere, like, or else let me type it over here. thegoodhealth.co.in. thegoodhealth.co.in. Let us see if it allows to record. Okay. Let's see if the server allows us to record the script, or if it allows the proxy server setting. Okay. So do you see that here, what is it saying? Software is preventing Firefox from safely connecting to this website, right? So it is, the goodhealth.co.in is most likely a safe site, but a secure connection could not be established, right? This issue is caused by JMeter root CA for recording, right? Which is either software on your computer or a network. So basically the server is not allowing that proxy server to happen, that proxy server setting to happen, because server understood that there is some component in between, that server understands that JMeter is there in between browser and server, and that is say your server is blocking the request, right? Now what we need to do is say, clear guys, everyone? Any HTTPS applications require that certificate, that JMeter root CA certificate should be imported to the browser. Now I'll stop the script recording and now go to settings again. Okay, and type certificates, view certificates. Okay, click on view certificates, and now import, click on import button. Observe here I am under authorities tab. I have it, right now I am under authorities tab. By default you will have under authorities. Click on import, and now go to your JMeter bin folder, right? Where is our, like I'm using our JMeter, see, this is the JMeter that I'm using under April 2025 evening batch folder. Go to bin folder and, select that certificate, select that JMeter temporary root CA certificate, click open, right? And select these checkboxes. See, read those checkboxes and understand that. Trust this CA to identify website. CA stands for certificate authority here. Okay. Here CA stands for certificate authority. You have it over here. CA stands for certificate authority. And you need to select both of these checkboxes. Click OK. And now certificate got added here. If you click on view, you'll see the validity till 23rd May, right? So today is 16th May, and by default, the certificate validity is 1 week. So that is why this certificate will be valid till 23rd May only. So now we are done with importing the certificate. Click OK here. Close your browser again. And now let me try to record the script now after importing the certificate, right? Let me try to record the script. Click start. Okay, please wait. Something got recorded in the previous step. Actually, some request got recorded. Okay. But but in the browser, we are unable to proceed, isn't it? Something got recorded here, but in the browser, we are unable to record it, right? So before trying to record again, I'll remove these two requests. I'm doing a fresh recording now. Understand, guys? So remove this. And now, and one more thing, guys, I forgot something. So clear all these, see, there are some requests there are some browser related URLs. I'll clear all those. Do clear all, right? And observe here, like there is a file called recording.xml, right? Recording.xml, isn't it? By default, there is a file called recording.xml. So I told that, all your server response will be captured into this, isn't it? So just make a note of it. I will come back to that again. Now start recording. Click OK. And now open your browser. Always use a private browser for recording a script. I'm using private browser of Firefox. And now I am entering the URL again. thegoodhealth.co.in. Hit enter. Now we should not get the error message that we got previously. We should see the home page loaded. Now the page is loaded, right? Without any error or without any issue. Clear, guys? Now go to your JMeter and see, observe here, you see here, you see the difference between these different transactions. Homepage transaction, before homepage transaction, it is showing a small arrow mark. JMeter is showing a small arrow mark, isn't it? So if you click on that arrow mark, you'll see, some request got recorded into JMeter. Observe here. There are some browser related requests as well, but where is your application related URL? See, this is browser related, push.services, etc., isn't it? There are a lot of, see here. So this is your, this is related to your application, isn't it? goodhealth.co.in, that is the server name, isn't it? So, the first, I think this, your first request should be somewhere over here. Let's see one by one. There are a lot of unwanted URLs. Do you see there? There are a lot of browser related URLs, isn't it? Now this is your first URL. This is the first URL, request number 70, right? 70 is your homepage URL. Agree? The goodhealth.co.in. This is the first request that you are seeing related to the application. Agree with me? Clear, guys? And there are some SVG files and there are some JavaScript files, cookies, etc. There are a lot of files, some CSS files, right? Etc. Clear, guys? All those are sub requests. Along with the application related requests, there are some unwanted URLs, like fonts.gstatic.com or browser related URLs. You have some browser related URLs. Let me show you some browser related URLs. See, these are all application related only. How do I identify if an URL is browser related or how do you identify if a URL is browser related or or some application related one?
IP
Right?
address.
By checking the server name or IP address, isn't it? So if it is your server URL, so this is application related, isn't it? But other than that, you have some browser related URLs as well, some unwanted URLs like this. Let me show you some. Yeah, you see here, this is related to Firefox, isn't it? push.services.mozilla.com, etc. Right? And now, there is a way to avoid all these URLs. You can avoid recording, all these URLs as well. There is a way to do that, right? So that, your JMeter will record only application related URLs. We'll do that. We'll do that in tomorrow's session. Okay. For now, let me proceed with the script recording. Shall we?
Sir, first request we have completed, na? We have
First
navigated
request
to.
is completed. Correct. Now
So
go to your JMeter.
we can
and
stop
click-
now, sir. We can stop
No, don't stop it. Why?
because first we will continue for the next step.
Yes, we'll continue with the next step. Now go to your JMeter and go to test script recorder and change the target
Okay.
controller to what is the next step? Click
Like-
sign in, isn't it? Select this and now go to your browser, right? Whenever you get this allow essential, click on allow essential cookies and now click on sign in. Perform the transaction that you gave in the script. Now, if you go to JMeter, you can use Alt tab to switch between your JMeter and browser, right? So let me go to JMeter now. Right? And now see here, some more requests got recorded here under this transaction. Under sign in, under click sign in, 3 more requests got recorded, isn't it? So now let me go to test script recorder and then, select the next transaction. Go to registration page. That is the next transaction, isn't it? Now go to your browser and now how can I go to the registration page? I need to click on don't have an account, isn't it? Right? And now go to your JMeter. And now see here. So some more requests got recorded under this transaction, isn't it? So basically what is happening here is your JMeter is capturing the request and response. And these are your request. Observe here. These are, whatever you see under the script, right? Those are your request. And where the response will be captured means it will be captured into view results tree under recorder. Okay. Let me show you that. Yes.
For me, that under I have started recording and stop, but then after that stopping or in between or in the start in progress, I
Hmm.
don't see the pen symbol, whatever was created under that user registration, under each transaction controller, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't see it is created for me.
We'll
What
see,
is
that. We'll see that after the, in the last 5 minutes, we'll see that. Okay. Now, do you see here, the server response is captured here. Do you see this? Sign in, contact us, home, shop, etc. Right? Limited time offer. That is what we saw in the application, right? On the home page. Let me show you that. Let me go to Chrome browser. I am already having that application opened over here, isn't it? See, when you go to the home page of the application, right? You see this, limited time offer, home, shop, help, about us, etc. And you are seeing that under JMeter. Observe here, right? Do you see that over here? So skip to content, home, shop, help, about us, all those, limited time offer and all this, right? So your JMeter is capturing all the requests under the script, under the thread group, and responses are being captured into this view results tree under the recorder. Clear, everyone? I made a statement before starting the script that, that your script will be, all the requests will be captured into the script, and all the responses will be captured into this file, recording.xml file. Clear, guys, everyone? Shall I go to the next slide, next transaction? I'll select the next transaction and again go to Firefox browser. Where is my Firefox browser? Here it is. And now I'll enter another email ID. Okay. I'll give it as perftest1605. I'll give mail ID as perftest1605 at yokemail.com. If you have some other Gmail ID, you can give that, right? If you have multiple Gmail IDs, you can use that. But once you use some mail ID, you can't use it again, isn't it? So you need to always, because this is user registration, you cannot register with an existing username, right? Or with an existing email, isn't it? So make sure that, you are giving a unique email ID every time. Okay. And now click on sign up. Right now, user registration is successful and you got a my account page. Now go to your JMeter. If you see that, if you expand that element, if you expand that submit registration form element, do you see that, whatever data I entered in the browser is captured here? What the mail ID that I entered, name and password that I entered are captured here into this request number 190. Agree, guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now let us move to the next step. Next transaction is logout. My user registration is successful. Now let me log out of the application. Logout. Now logout is successful. Close the browser. Okay. And stop the script recording. You can stop the script recording either by clicking on stop here in this floating window. You have a floating window, right? Or else you can click stop here on JMeter also. Right? Now the script recording is stopped. Now save the script once. Now save the script once. Again, one file will be created in the backup folder. Should be created. Okay. So you go to backups folder, now, one more backup should have got created. If not, that is fine. So JMeter will take care of that. When to create a backup file and when not to create, it will take care of that. Okay. So we are least bothered about that. We require that backup file only when your JMeter crashes. Right? Now your first script is recorded successfully with JMeter. I'll take a pause here. Any queries? Only we are done with only script recording, by the way. Right?
So the script is this one. Where is the script? This HTTPS test script recorder, which we have mentioned.
Yeah.
This is our script.
Yes. Let me go to your, see, we created one folder here for the script, right? So this is your script, and now you can see the file size is 776 KB, isn't it? See, initially when we created an empty script, right, the file size was 10 KB only. Remember that I had mentioned that. Now the file size is 776 KB because, we recorded, the script, or we recorded some transactions. That's why the file size increased to 776 KB. And now, any other queries?
Sir, where is the certificate?
Certificate will be in JMeter bin folder. If you go to JMeter bin folder, that is where your certificate will be.
Sir, I didn't have that folder. I tried.
Okay, we'll look into it one by one. Okay, and now observe here, when we recorded the script, right, we have some recording.xml file, right? Isn't it? By default, you have a file called recording.xml. Let us see where is that recording.xml file. That will be by default, that will be saved into your bin folder. If you sort with date modified, do you see that here, recording.xml? Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't specify the path, it will be by default saved into bin folder, JMeter bin folder. Going forward, what will we do is we will save this file also into the script folder itself. We'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to do another recording because see this time lot of unwanted URLs got recorded, isn't it? You see here content signature cdn.mozilla.net. What is CDN, by the way? What is that CDN? What does that CDN stand for?
For common domain name.
No. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network.
Okay.
CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. Okay. What is that concept, Content Delivery Network? We'll discuss it later. Not that much important now. But those who are already working, you should have been knowing that what is CDN, right? So if not, you have that in the performance testing fundamentals document that I'm going to share you today, right? So search for CDN if you are, if you are interested to. Oh, CDN is not there in performance testing fundamentals. Second. So this is what a CDN is, right? Tomorrow we'll discuss that. Not that much important, but but as I came across, I thought of explaining you. So you should know what is a CDN.
I mean, here a lot of unwanted stuffs are there. So in order to exclude it, I mean, what are the options like you were telling?
We'll discuss that tomorrow. So we need to filter out those unwanted URLs before recording the script itself. We need to filter out those URLs. I'll explain the process tomorrow. Okay.
I'm facing an issue here. Could you check that?
Yeah. Yeah. Please share your screen, Amrita.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once it is loaded.
1 second. I see some people disconnected. Is it difficult to understand? Are you feeling any difficulty?
No.
Okay.
Is it screen is loaded?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I have imported the certificate that as you mentioned. Here
Go
the
to
site
Analytics.
it is installed.
Okay.
But then whenever I'm performing an operation, so I have selected from here I have selected a home page.
Okay. Please show the
And
proxy setting. Go to your browser and show the proxy setting.
proxy. Oh, this is what
Localhost.
this is.
No, you gave 8080. Is that the port number that is there in your JMeter? You need to use same port number of JMeter.
I think 488.
Hmm.
That's why it's not hitting.
Yes. It should work now.
Okay, now I'll just launch it.
Hmm.
Just one more thing, Pawan, like Harsh here. I mean, is there any, blogging site for JMeter where like common issues we face or like any popular website? I mean, people refer.
Any?
I mean, normally the common issue what we encounter, right? Is there any good reference site that we normally, like anyone can refer it, like for the common issues that we encounter? Somebody else got it, so they might post a solution or something like that. I mean, just for reference purpose.
No, so whenever you get some issue, you just do a Google search. You will find it somewhere on Stack Overflow or any other forums. Okay. There is no common website as such, but I'll cover most of the common issues. Will be covered in the training because I'll be covering 5 different applications, not just one. So I will in the training, all the possible, challenges. Most of the, not all, but most of the possible challenges will be covered. Okay. And recording issues or all these will be covered in the training. Obviously, when we have 20 people in the batch, right? Someone or the other will get some issue. So we'll discuss all those. No need to worry about that.
Sir, should I share my screen? I am not
Yes.
able to see the certificate.
Yeah, please share your screen. Please share. Okay.
In bin,
Sort with date modified.
I did
Click on
that.
that. So are you sure that you have only one instance of JMeter?
Yes, sir. Only one
And
instance.
did you unzip the zip file and you started JMeter, or you can you show
I
me
unzipped. Okay. I deleted that also yesterday.
zip file? I mean compressed folder. You mean to say
Deleted.
you deleted that? Okay. Okay.
So here I
P
have,
install 2025. Hmm. Okay. Did you start? Did you start recording in JMeter? See,
no,
that's
before
yeah.
that.
Before that you will not have. See, first time when you
First.
start recording the script, then
Then only
JMeter will create a certificate.
certificate will be created.
That is
Okay.
what I had shown, right? Like when you that's why I had shown you that screenshot. Okay. I'm
Okay.
sharing my screen. I'm sharing back my screen. See, your certificate file will be created only when you start recording in JMeter. Okay. You see that here root CA certificate is created in JMeter bin
Temporarily.
directory. When do we get that? When we start recording in
First
JMeter
recording.
for the first time. Yes.
Okay.
Or every time I told that every time you see, basically every time you start recording, your JMeter will check the if a certificate is already existing. If it is already existing, it won't create. If there is no certificate file, it will create a new one.
Okay, sir.
Or
I
if
will
the
do it.
validity expires also, it will create a new one.
Okay, sir. After that only we will import.
Yes.
Okay, new certificate will replace the old one, Pawan.
Yes. Every time, if the old certificate validity is over, right? JMeter will create a new certificate and it will replace the old one. But you need to, in the browser, you need to manually replace it. Because JMeter doesn't know, obviously, like your browser doesn't know, sorry. Your browser doesn't know whether, it will not work simply. If the certificate validity is over, right? It will not simply work. Or you'll not be able to record the script. Then you need to manually replace the certificate in the browser.
Okay, in the browser we have to replace the every time when it was expired.
Yeah. So basically, default validity is 7 days, right? We can increase the validity to, like 1 year or 6 months. We'll discuss that going forward.
Okay.
So that, every week you need not bother about the certificate validity.
Okay.
You can increase the certificate validity to 6 months or 1 year.
Okay.
And once you import it, usually we'll do it for, if it is a 3 months project, we'll increase the validity for 3 months. Or if it is a 6 months project, we'll increase it to, or, increase it to 365 days, 1 year. So,
Okay, according to the project timelines, so we can increase the
yes,
certificate.
you can give 1 year, after 1 year, you can, anyways, JMeter will release a new version every year, right? So, you can increase the validity to 1 year, and after 1 year, you need to bother about that. You need to bother about that. Or you need not bother till 1 year, the next 1 year. If you increase the certificate validity to 1 year, validity to 1 year.
Increase it like manually we can increase going to that folder and increase the duration.
Yes. So if you go to bin folder, there will be a file called jmeter.bat, right? So no, sorry, not here. You need to go to jmeter.properties file. There will be a file called jmeter.properties. We'll discuss that tomorrow, okay? So for beginners, it will be like confusing for them. So, but if you want to see, like I'll make everyone do this, later on. But if you go to search for validity, right? You go to jmeter.properties and there will be something called validity. And by default, it will be 7 days. Now you need to copy these 2 lines and don't change it here. Don't change it in jmeter.properties. This is a master file. So there will be another file called user.properties. You need to change it over there. Okay.
Okay, not in the jmeter.properties one. Okay.
Yeah. So any property changes should be changed in user.properties. Now here, you need to remove that hash, right? Hash is to comment a line. Any line in green color is a commented line. Okay. So you need to remove that hash in front of the line and you can change the validity from default 7 days to 365 days. And save this file. Save this file and you need to restart JMeter. Then only it will be applicable.
Okay.
This is how we increase the validity, as simple as that.
Okay.
So this is the default validity for certificates created by JMeter.
Pawan, where do we need to copy that certificate?
You need to import that certificate to the browser.
Browser, right?
Yeah. Okay. Guys, we'll stop it here. Beginners will get confused if I give too many contents on the day one. So beginners will get confused, right? So some of you are already, having at least some knowledge on JMeter. That's why, like you are asking, we understand that. So beginners will get confused unnecessarily. We'll stop it here for today. Okay. So tomorrow we'll record the script again. Now, what are the challenges that we faced today? First challenge is, when we are trying to record, your server did not allow it, right? Isn't it? So server, your server blocked that JMeter, isn't it? Yes or no? So we resolved it by importing the certificate. What is that certificate? JMeter's. That certificate is called as JMeter's root CA certificate. Please remember this. Remember the terminology or remember these technical terms. Okay, JMeter root CA certificate. This was imported to the browser to overcome that recording issue. Imported to browser. Okay. Another challenge that we faced is there are a lot of browser related and third-party URLs. Okay. There are a lot of unwanted URLs in the script that got recorded in the script. Right. So we need to, like, tomorrow we'll discuss how to avoid them getting recorded in the first place. Okay. So we need to filter those URLs, filter out those unwanted URLs. How to do that, and and all, we will discuss it tomorrow. Right? And any other challenges? That's it. For now, that's it. Right? We'll do this tomorrow. How to do this and all. Let me update the tracker sheet now. And see, once we start scripting, we will not know time. Right? Today we had 1.5 hour session, isn't it? So what did we do today? JMeter script recording with templates, right? We use with recording template, isn't it? Recording template, and we had discussed root CA certificate. Okay, and proxy setting, isn't it? We had also discussed, what is proxy server concept, isn't it? Proxy server concept and root CA set. All right then. So any queries, guys, before we close today's session?
Yeah, just these PPTs, can you share it in the WhatsApp group, like Pawan?
Yeah, I'll share it. Not PPT. I'm not sharing the PPT. I'm not going to share the PPT, but I'll share this Word document. You will have everything, all the important concepts in this. Because in PPT, you'll have a lot of, see, for example, you have, a lot of my introduction and all those. I just skipped all that content and I kept, the main content into Word document. Okay.
Okay.
So I had skipped all this content and I kept only whatever required for you. I had kept it in that Word document, and I'm going to share that Word document to those who paid fees and confirm their joining only. All right. And once I share the training content, no fee refund request can be entertained for any reason. Okay.
Tomorrow, are we having the class?
Yeah, sure. We'll have a session tomorrow.
Okay.
Is it fine with everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
And have we
The timings should be the same,
Dynatrace session, Pawan?
Dynatrace. Okay. 17:05. Tomorrow we'll have a session at the same time, guys. 7:30 to 9. Is it fine with everyone?
Yes.
7 to 8:30 is fine.
7:30 to 8:30. You want me to limit it to 1 hour?
7 to 8:30.
9 is fine, Pawan.
7 to 8:30.
It's fine, like
Saturday.
9 is fine.
7:30 to
Saturday.
9.
Yeah.
Now we'll close by sharp 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
And
hey, by the way, I need to
LoadRunner
give that
class-
online test also, right? I'll do that, today. So let me, I'll pass the recording and let me note the action items for myself. 1 second.